Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the United Ramble podcast. I think this is episode 7, and what a night we have to talk about. Manchester United beating RB Leipzig 5-0 at Old Trafford, and your boy Marcus Rashford getting himself a hat trick. What a performance. Arguably better than the PSG one, I would say. Obviously, PSG were are a much better team than Leipzig, but weren't playing particularly well. I just think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got this completely right. He played the diamond, which was interesting and quite bold by him as well. Donny van de Beek started finally, and he had a good impact on the game. So he's certainly shown what he can do. Pogba was in there as well, who obviously set up Mason Greenwood for the first goal after barging his way through the Leipzig midfield and defence. We'll get to Marcus Rashford in a minute, but I just want to talk about Mason Greenwood. Obviously, there's been a lot of bad press around him recently, which turned out to be a load of lies, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer pointed out. Basically, if you don't know, the press were saying that he was lazy, wasn't turning up for training on time and things like that, which Solskjaer rubbish. Greenwood starts this game and he slots a goal into the bottom right-hand corner past the goalkeeper in the first half for the opening goal, and it was very well taken. I was pleased for him, and that's his first goal in the Champions League. The second youngest player to do that for United, which well done to him. Obviously, Wayne Rooney was younger, but that doesn't matter. He's still very young. He's got a bright future ahead of him, and I'm glad he took his goal well. Obviously, Martial also got a penalty. Rashford could have taken it at this point, but he gave it to Martial, which again shows what a tremendous guy Rashford is. Gives Martial his first goal for the season. Again, he's been getting a lot of stick as well, which I can't understand why. He's suspended. Everyone's saying, he's not scored yet. It's like, yeah, well, he's not been allowed to play in the Premier League because he had a 3-match ban for that straight red against Tottenham, So, yeah, obviously he's not scored. I know he didn't score in last week's Champions League game, but whatever. That doesn't really matter. He's scored now. He's got his penalty. He's off the mark. Had a good season last year. Let's hope he can build on it again. Fantastic from him to put that away. Keeper had no chance despite going in the right direction. As I say, I know you want to hear me talk about Marcus Rashford, but I'm going to come on to him last. There's a few other players who deserve a mention. David De Gea being another. Obviously, we win 5-0, so it looks as if obviously it was a solid defensive performance, which it was in fairness. But it's not as if De Gea didn't have to make any saves. There was on 2 occasions where he really had to have his concentration, which he was. One at the near post, which he saved and tipped over the bar. So he, I would say at the moment, he is playing very well. Obviously, I know not that long ago he let those goals in against Tottenham, but they weren't really his fault. That was the defence. And since then, his head could have dropped. I don't think it has. I think he's played very, very well. Unlucky to concede a goal against PSG. Didn't concede any against Chelsea and didn't concede any last night. So good on David De Gea. If you read my article on him a couple of months ago, you said I thought he deserved another chance and that he would come good again. And it looks as if he might just be coming good again. Not so great news for Dean Henderson, because I think he didn't go out on loan and came back because he thought he might have a shot at the number 1 spot. But De Gea, that might just be what he needed. Somebody else, another competent goalkeeper, young competent goalkeeper. That's nothing against Romero, he's more than competent. But Dean Henderson obviously has a lot of media press around him. They talk about him a lot, kind of saying, well, he could start over De Gea. That's never been said about Romero. So maybe that's just what De Gea needed to get his confidence back and that drive again to succeed. It's just that bit of pressure on him for the number 1 spot. Well, that's good. I'm now comfortable with him there, and I hope his good form continues. In the Premier League and the Champions League, and obviously his international career as well. I've got a lot of respect for De Gea. Anyway, on to the point that you all want to hear about, and that's Marcus Rashford with a perfect hat-trick. His opening goal obviously was ruled out at first, but credit to Rashford, he kept going and finished it off and slotted it in the bottom right. The correct decision by VAR to overrule it. This is what it's in place for. When it works properly, it's a good thing and a useful tool to have in football, because that would have been a perfectly legitimate goal that Rashford would have had cut off, and it would have denied him his first hat-trick. But he was in his own half, not offside, perfectly good goal. Obviously, his second goal was absolutely brilliant, my favourite one of the 3. He, obviously just seems to lash it into the bottom corner. He was up for it when he came on. That's another thing. This was a hat trick off the bench. So to do that for your first hat trick is just absolutely brilliant. He didn't even have the full 90 minutes, didn't have the first half. He just comes on and just totally even pushes United to that next level. You could see the joy in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's face for all the goals, but that second one you could see Solskjaer's particularly happy with, because that's the type of goal he would score. But just lashing it in, taking no prisoners with that shot. And the third goal was obviously very good as well to round off the perfect hat trick in every time. He was very modest about it, though. He wasn't jumping about all over the place, and he was hugging his teammates, smiling, which just kind of shows what a decent and humble human being he is. And it just kind of rounds off a perfect week or so for him off the pitch. He's not achieved what he wants to yet off the pitch, but he's certainly raised awareness of the fact that this government is failing a lot of families in this country, and there's a lot of organisations which are jumping on board with his campaign and obviously providing those free school meals, which are absolutely essential, particularly in these winter months and leading up to Christmas. And so you just hope that things off the pitch get even better for him, because he honestly deserves it. And it just shows again, he scores his first hat trick in the Champions League, and then in that tweet, which he did after the game, saying, "Oh, great 3 points," and he goes, and the second point is about how many signatures they had at the end of that day, which just shows, what he's about really, and we're lucky to have him. United at the moment are disconnected from the fans. I would say, good couple of results to pave over the cracks of problems that still exist. We've got owners who don't really care about the club, are bleeding it dry. We've got a director who, in Ed Woodward, who again makes poor signings, doesn't back managers. There's still the deadwood in the squad, but Marcus Rashford is just that bright light in the squad at the moment, which is just kind of showing what the club is really about. It's about community. It's about bringing through young players. It's about making people into better human beings, and supporting those who have helped him get to that position. And just using his platform for good, which is amazing. And I'm really glad that we have him at the club, and we are lucky to have him. And I really hope he stays. I hope he doesn't ever move on. If we've got a player like that, I've been critical of him in the past, and particularly in my last couple of videos. Now, I still do think he has a lot to work on the pitch, but off it, he just needs to keep doing what he's doing, and eventually the government will change their minds. I do believe that. They've shown that this year. How many U-turns have they done? It's just absolutely fantastic. But last night, what a performance from the team as a whole. And the manager does deserve credit. Solskjaer has taken a lot of beatings from the press. I've said my piece on him as well. But he is. That was a good tactical performance last night. A bit like PSG last week to an extent, but I think this one was better. As I said in the last video, he's kind of broken the counter attack last week against PSG, which is fair enough. Wouldn't call it a masterclass, but this week was. He plays with that diamond, which was brave. We had Van der Beek and Pogba playing, and didn't start McTominay and Fred again, which would have been more conservative. So yeah, fair enough to them, and I couldn't be more happy for them. And let's just hope this weekend we can get, put in a better performance than we did against Chelsea, make it more exciting, and get the 3 points. But yeah, that's all really for this video. I hope you have enjoyed. If so, please do let me know in the comments, and please drop a like and subscribe, and I will see you later.